All right, what's going on, all? Hopefully you are well. In today's video, I'm sharing the number one thing, and really I've thought long and hard about this. Really what I believe is the number one thing that every single $1 million a year or more coaching program that either I've helped start and grow, through my coaching and working with my clients, or that I've seen others run, maybe that I had nothing to do with, right? Mind the ducks. And it's just kind of the main thing that I'm seeing. And it's just a consistent theme, like over and over and over again. The people that get to $1 million a year, and this is an important and stay there, have mastered this one thing. And this one thing is a linear and logical process to send your clients through from point A to point B, and building a product environment that blows their minds, gets them to send more people your way, and gets them the results that they initially invested into with guarantee. And in this video, I want to show you how to build a coaching program that you can effectively guarantee that your clients will get results if they do what you tell them to do, right? And I'm going to show you how to create an environment inside of your program, a feel to your programs, where people just genuinely, like, they can't even pin why it's so special, but it just feels like this is where I need to be. And they just know that they're getting the help that they need, and they're getting results, they're getting that momentum. There's a sense of community and camaraderie within your company and your community, and your clients are sending you referrals. We have like a 30% referral rate. I just don't know that many programs in our marketplace that have a 30% referral rate. It's just kind of unheard of. And so I want to walk you through, and how I'm going to walk you through it is I'm actually going to give you an insider peek at, my high level mastermind. Every single week I get on with my clients if they need the help, and I just do one-on-one with them. Sometimes I'll have a team member in the call, and in this case you have Dylan, who's one of our head coaches. He used to be a successful client, and now he's a coach for us. And you're just going to see me working with my clients, Anthony and Tate. And Anthony and Tate, they basically have currently a done-for-you service that they've scaled at its peak to about $60,000 a month. And they're trying to take that done-for-you service and move it into a group coaching program so they can scale further, because they're doing so much client work. And they want to get that group coaching program to $100,000 a month in the next 4 to 6 months. And so instead of focusing on immediate, easy, low-hanging fruit sales opportunities and kind of, just selling a program that doesn't exist yet, which is a way to go about it, and depending on your situation, we can help you do that. I'm showing them, look, this is how you actually create a world-class product so that you can get to $100,000 a month and stay at $100,000 a month. So in this coaching call, you're going to learn a few things. First of all, you're going to learn the 4 elements that I call the soil, seed, water, and sun, that enable you to have a product that, as a natural byproduct of your clients being a part of your community and going through your program, inevitably experience a transformation in results from your program. Okay? I'm going to explain what the soil, seed, water, and sun are, and what those variables are, and how you can implement them into your business. And then I'm also going to talk about the structure of moving from one-to-one to group to scaled program, how to hire and when to hire. So it can be an extremely valuable video if you're serious about getting to that $1 million a year level. So I'm back with the ducks. Enjoy, and let me know what you think in the comments, what your key takeaways were, and I'll see you in the next video. I think why I'm not doing it, the only reason I'm not doing it, and this doesn't apply to your guys' situation, is I want my buyers to have a bit more context with who we are specifically, because in my company, I don't like having to re-justify somebody's decision to work with us 3 months into their investment. It just is so frustrating. And so if you with that raw cold traffic, you're going to have to get honestly a little bit better than we are with that hard first 7-day like value add, making them really happy they invested. That's just company time and attention that I've never been willing to spend, but I know plenty of guys are. I'm of the personality type where I just don't want to have to justify, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pros and cons. You know what I mean, Anthony? Like every marketing avenue has pros and cons.
Yeah, it has been like that, where they're not really curious about like not getting like cold feet after they make the purchase, but we are giving them a lot of attention and really pouring into them, because one thing that we do need more of is just more like client success, because we launched the offer about 2.5 months ago, and a lot of their success, it's been all right, but there's more stuff that we can be teaching them on their end. So we're focused a lot on like client success right now. So it does make sense not to scale up to 100,000, but there's stuff out there that since we're so done for you, there's stuff they need to do on their own. So it's not even like coming down to like getting another cash payment. It's just like, hey, like we've done all this stuff for you. Now it's time to do it yourself. And then now I know actually how to position that conversation too as well for their success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and let me add some more meat to the done with you conversation that we dipped our toe into for a second. I feel like I mostly talked about like the sales process, but I think it's important that you guys have a good delivery process as well. And there's two pillars to the conversation of the delivery process. There's first understanding your guys' evolution as a company, how you go from that one-to-one to group to course to scaling up the model of having coaches. And so I had a great group call actually with our CB community where we went a little bit in depth on this. There's plenty that I kind of left open just because, I'm not going to go with 45 people on a group call on this topic for an hour. You know what I mean? But let me see if I can find where specifically in this call I kind of screen shared. Here we go. It's around the 1 hour and 15-minute mark-ish. And I just want you guys to kind of just watch that. And I just talk about the evolution of your program. Because if you guys are going to have it done with you, I want you guys, honestly, like really patting myself on the back and my team on the back in our company. Like we have made the evolution like extraordinarily well. Like we've really done a good job. And so I'm just overlaying my thoughts on how I went from one-to-one to that, group setting in a way that didn't affect the rest of my client base. And they weren't upset about losing my attention and whatever. Because that one-to-one, you're just selling, hey, a call a week for 3 months, right? A call a week with daily back and forth over Slack. Super easy sale. You'll find yourself doing 30 minutes of Slack, 2 hours of calls a day. It's quite scalable. You get to 50, 60,000 a month doing that. If you really know how to manage your time, you got a high ticket offer, right? Next stage is that group stage. The real secret to that, Anthony and Tate, is selling them on the community. That's the secret, because they are losing your one-to-one attention and time, but they have to understand that every client is just like them, and the problems that they are having are the same problems that you are having. And now these group calls are actually more valuable than the one-to-ones. And my clients legitimately feel that way, where they're like, look, I can get on a one-to-one with Dylan or Jeremy, whoever, but like, honestly, it feels like everybody in this community is on the same page and struggling with the same stuff. It's like, I feel guilty wasting their time. And also I feel like I get all the help I need. So we have guys that go 4 or 5 months in our program with unlimited one-to-one access capabilities. They can schedule a call anytime they want. They never schedule a one-to-one because the group calls, everybody's struggling with the same problems, right? And that's the last thing, is making sure that your clients do know that there is unlimited one-to-one. Because I've found that with unlimited one-to-one, it holds me accountable to making sure my clients actually get what they need so that I'm not wasting my time. Yes. That's one thing, right? So I actually give them what they need. And then 2, it's such a great selling point. Yes. Yeah. Because I have unlimited one-to-one with SB. Average client comes into SB, gets 5 or 6 one-to-ones with me, and then knows what they got to do for like 3 or 4 months, does it, comes back like, hey, we've kind of made that leap. Now we need to make this next leap. Okay, we do another series of 3 or 4 one-to-ones. Whereas, if I was just one-to-one and it wasn't unlimited one-to-one, it was just one-to-one call once a week, every week required, not they can schedule whenever they want, I'd be wasting so much time figuring out what the hell to talk about. Okay. But instead they come to me when they feel resistance, which is a better model. So my job is to give them clarity of where they're going, and the high level view of how they're going to get there. Their job is to come to me when there's resistance. Got it. And that's unlimited calls that you're doing? It's unlimited. Yeah, it's unlimited. Yeah. And it forces you to give your clients good action items that actually serve them. You know what I mean? Because when you have 20 clients that could book on any time and you're not giving them good stuff, they're going to keep rebooking and rebooking, digging for the thing that they invested for. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have I get a good amount of story views. Like when Instagram's not being a little bitch, I can get up to like 2,000 people on my story. And those story views, I'm like probably 1/10 of them are actually someone that would purchase a product, maybe even like 100 of them.
there's a lot of people that are just like beginner entrepreneurs that could, eventually learn a lot of stuff that we're doing too as well. So I'm thinking maybe that group community, more done with you offer could even attract lower level entrepreneurs as well, is what I'm thinking.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think my sales team knows not to let too many of those guys in, because you don't want to have a whole community of, I still got 3 months before I quit my job. Like, it's not, it's not going to be a high value group, but you can create, like, proximity is power. So like with our meetup in Indianapolis, which, by the way, you guys are invited to February 19th. We've got a dinner coming for our clients. If you want to swing out to Indy, we'd love to meet you guys. But we've got, I'd say it's like 20%. We've got that demographic of like 17, 18, 19-year-old kid kind of living with his parents, figuring it out. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, look, ask your parents for the cash. We're going to plug in an incredible community. We've got so many stories of guys where they plug in and just by means of proximity, it's just like they learn what they need. I don't even know specifically what we told them. They just learned by listening and being a part of the group. You can really create, and this is training that I'm going to be, because I'm putting a lot more material into the CB and SB programs, not to eliminate the need for one-to-one, just to get all my clients on the same page with some ways that we think as a company. And one of the ways that I think personally as a leader of this program, SB and CB, is soil, seed, water, sun. So soil is the base fundamental principles that all of your clients know or are on the same page with, right? It's like with SB, it's like high ticket offer, good delivery process, decent traffic, whatever, right? Good mindset, good leadership principles. Seed is the daily action items they have to take. It's like clear about what they got to do for the next 7 to 14 days at all times, right? Water is accountability, so coaching, group, and community. And then sun is the general vision of why they're even doing these things. So why do they even care to achieve $100,000 a month or $10,000 a month? So making sure that they're clear about their motivations. If you have all those things, you create an incredibly high quality program.
Can you run through those 3 again? Just like
it's 4. It's soil. So what are the pillars that you're teaching? What are the base fundamental? If you do these 3 things well, you will succeed. Like for us, it's like sales, high ticket offer, and decent traffic source.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's it. You guys, it could be more. You want to come up with your own. Seed is, what are they doing? So they need to have clairvoyance of like their daily action items, 7 to 14 days out at any given time, maybe even up to 30 days out, right? Water is accountability, so coaching and community, whether it's group or one-to-one coaching, or seeing the other people in the Slack channel or Facebook group sharing their wins, where they're at. And Anthony, when I was first getting started, dude, I would literally ask my clients who I knew were winning. I knew they were doing well. I'd say, dude, could you do me a huge favor and post that into the community? I really need them to see that. And you create that momentum in your community that way. Mm-hmm. And then sun, which is the end vision of why my clients are even trying to do these things. Everybody's got their own personal vision of why they want to scale their business with us, but there's a few common things: security, financial security, love of their work. It's another one. Freedom, financial freedom, and like knowing that they can travel and do whatever they want, be wherever they want, and then a sense of impact and meaning.
Yeah, 100%. I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. So you guys can figure out what's your soil, what's your seed, what's your water, what's your sun. How are you going to build those elements in?
Okay.
Yeah.
And as far as like community building, I've been doing a lot of research trying to figure out like where I can read or where I can just learn more about like building a strong community. Is there any like tips or anything you can to give around that? Because I want our community to be something where people are not just like virtually engaged with us, but we're also doing like these high level events. We have people like flying out to come down here to Tampa to see us, and we're building a strong.
The secret is a term that my dad actually coined. So I learned this from him. He's just got so much wisdom, dude. He said, like, you need to learn how to lead with depth in shallow waters. So like shallow waters is the internet. Internet's so shallow, right? It's really easy for relationships to be extremely shallow on the internet. Leading with depth means understanding and nurturing your clients' desires and needs and creating a real relationship with them. So if you want to create a good community, they need to trust you guys as the leaders. And that means like demonstrating that you guys are worth trusting over and over again over a long length of time. That's the only way to do it. There's no shortcuts. And then lastly, other than that, because that's the requirements from you guys, lead with depth in shallow waters, you know, and that's not just asking how their kids are doing. You know, there's more to it than that, right? And you guys can get creative in the moment of like, why are your clients actually here, and how can you really empower them to get where they say they want to get? The other element is on the community's part, and it's having, again, that synchronicity of their personal visions. So, you know, in our community, they're all here to grow their business. It's very simple. They all have a few different reasons, which we listed earlier, you know, freedom, security, sense of impact, and sense of meaning. And those are the main reasons we find. And so if you can just speak to those on your group coaching calls, like speak to them in your course content, speak to them in your marketing, so that people really feel like this is where they need to be.
No, that's really great. And my story is so much college based. And I did see your video, how you were saying how your story really doesn't, I mean, it does help a lot if your story kind of aligns with your ideal prospect story, of course. But I just feel like my story, people that we're currently working with, it just doesn't relate too much to them, because I've had my success from like being, you know, in college and eventually just scaling up my business 7 figures. But our clients, like, college was so long ago with them, and they had a whole completely different experience. So just trying to figure out how I can align my story to actually like attract the right people to me. That makes sense.
Dude, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I know it might sound overly simplified. It might just sound like I'm repeating my own advice just because I want to repeat my own advice because I want to be right. But legitimately, I can tell you that when you just share who you are and what you value and why you value it and where you came from, you know, like personally, I drive a Tesla Model X. I love that car. And in part, it's because I love what Elon stands for. You know, I love like his upcoming story. I love just like his principles, his mission, his values. And it's just cool to like be able to drive around a piece of machinery that he really had in his mind at one point, and now it's here because I like him as a character. And so that if we break down why personalities are attracted to different personalities, often it's a sense of community and rapport. You know, the phrase "birds with a feather flock together," right? It's a sense of shared mission. I feel like in a way, in my own tiny way, I'm on the same mission as Elon. It's like I really, really, really desire to be an industry man, to empower others, to lean into the way the free market works and build my own company and have some impact at the end of my life, right? So I admire that. But by no means is Elon's hero's journey like, well, I was broke and then I discovered cars and now I'm here. It's not like he's selling the vehicle that got him there, right? It's more that you just understand the base fundamentals of who the person is. And then in turn, and because of that, you can respect the product. And so I don't really think that it's, you know, there's this, I don't know if you guys heard Expert Secrets, Russell Brunson, but he talks about like, there's this concept of like the hero's journey, where you start off at your beginnings, you explain where you came from, then you explain your discovery. You discovered this thing, and then you discovered that thing, and then that led to where you are today. And really what you're selling is that discovery in product form. I think that works brilliantly well, but I don't think it's the only way to do it. Another way of putting it is like, there's no such thing as B2B or B2C, business to business, business to customer, only such thing as person to person. And if you're really good at explaining who you are and what you value on the front end, like, even if somebody, like how I know we're doing this well is people will message me and say, Trey, I'm not a good fit for what you do. I'm not even a coach. I'm just super inspired by like how you do life. I just love it. I love the way you do life. Would love to get coffee sometime. I'm not your buyer, but I just love where you're at. It's like, cool. That tells me that, you know, I'm sharing my principles and mission well.
100%.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I gotta get better at sharing my principles. Posted I'm juicing. So I hope someone likes that. I guess that's a little start.
Yeah. And personally, I'm not even afraid to get a little controversial and just like speak it how I see it, like with the COVID stuff, even with some politics and like even like religion. And I get right into I will never ever judge somebody for not thinking the way that I think. I'm literally just tactically trying to attract people that think like me because I want them to feel like, oh, finally, not only someone who sells what I need, because there's plenty of people that sell what I need, but this guy thinks like me too. It's like I want to do business with him because it's birds of a feather flock together.
Oh yeah. You getting any more vaccines? He had so much experience. He had a little experience.
What happened, dude? Did you like grow a third arm or something?
I wish. Hardest week of my life working because I lost 2 days. I have some family that's come to see us. My girlfriend's mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, so I made the decision to get the vaccine, just be safe around everybody, cause no friction with anybody. I wasn't really ever for or against it, but man, I got this thing, and 2 days I was knocked out, could not move. I was dead. And
Dang.
I lost those 2 days, and now I'm still struggling, working 16 hours a day just to
catch back up. Yeah, dude. Well, I want to eliminate your guys' 16-hour days. I want you guys to get down to like 7 or 8 max. Like that's what Done With You will do for you, man. I'm telling you. When you start to group your clients, because that's the problem with Done For You too, is you cannot group Done For You unless you have templates that you send that they then do the final 20% of the tweaking, right? So you're going to do 16-hour days and you send in resources, replying to emails, doing a little, here's a PDF, or here's this funnel template, or here's this copy tweak. It's the worst.
Please.
Yeah.
We get in there. I know you're going to love that. Yeah.
Dude, I think if all I do for you guys is 2 things, like 1, just figure out a decent traffic vehicle, and then 2, buy back your time by moving to Done With You. Like the time that you're putting into little client responses is going to compound so much because you guys are CEOs of the company. You guys allocate 2 resources. Your most important, capital and time. Capital and time. Your time is not being resourced well. It's not being invested well, right? You can create a higher quality client experience with less of your time. That should be your mission right now, is creating a higher quality client experience with less time input needed. And that's, I think, what Done With You will solve for you. Yeah. So
if we can get out of this client business and I'm spending less time building funnels, offers, etc., you will be my best friend. I'm just telling you that.
I'll get you there, dude. And then the time that we'll say, dude, I'm telling you, man, because you guys are smart marketers, man. Like you guys are smart. I literally think the problem is over the past 6 months, you've been focused on client work and not marketing. Because when you're doing client work, you can't think about getting more clients. You just can't. You guys would already be at 100,000 a month if you didn't have that problem.
Yeah. Exactly. And the crazy thing is the reason why we built this business, because Trey, we actually scaled a marketing agency up together, right? We did like 1.2 million with the marketing agency, but of course, profit matters, right? So we shut down that marketing agency a little over a month ago, and we built this business around like client success, around good customer service. So on the front end, when we were launching about 3 months ago, we poured so much energy into making sure that our clients have the greatest customer service, the greatest experience working with us, because that was the reason why like our average retention rate of the marketing agency was like a month, 2 months. It was terrible. So we just poured a little too much into that, making like that our whole entire business model around client success, not client success, but just like customer service, I would say.
Well, see, that's the thing is I think a lot of people confuse customer service with client success. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like your clients being successful doesn't mean you guys being accessible. It means them getting what they need, right? Yes. And so like it's really easy to blur those lines. And like, let me ask this. This is a commonality. I've worked with so many clients at this point. It's a huge commonality. Where did you guys grow up? Like, I know this is a random question. Like, what state did you guys grow up in?
I grew up in Georgia.
Iowa.
Georgia. So like kind of Midwest, kind of like elbow grease states.
1,200 people.
I see this over and over. I grew up in Indiana, dude. I see it over and over again.
Pennsylvania,
even like when I started to make money. Hey. Yep, I see it over and over again, dude. Guys from states like us, we have this subconscious attachment to work and money. It's a subconscious attachment. How much work we do is how much money we make. So I would really recommend that you both, I know I've recommended so many books. I hope you don't hate me for it. No BS Guide to Wealth Attraction and the Modern Economy by Dan Kennedy. He really drills into that thinking. And I needed to read that book because I'm from Indiana, dude. I live downtown, but downtown is literally like 20 blocks wide. I live in the most expensive apartment in my entire city, and it's only $3,500 a month. LA, it's like what, 90 grand a month is the most expensive. $3,500 a month is my most expensive. I drive anywhere, it's cornfields and rednecks and farmers, right? And they're good, genuine people. Don't get me wrong, but the culture attaches money to work. So you just really need to learn that money is solving people's problems, whether you're a part of that process or not. You know, it's just like, and when I really got out of that thinking of my time is needed, and I started asking who can I plug in or what system can I build to give them this versus how can I, things just went crazy for me. So yeah, it's so predictable. I see that thinking with small town Midwest. It's over and over again.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, I got out.
Yeah, dude. Where you guys living now?
Tampa.
Tampa, cool. It's a better spot for the entrepreneurial scene. I never left hometown because I just love my family. I was homeschooled, and I just feel like I've got like literal physical mental roots like in these little groups. Like I don't care if they are millionaires or they got $10 in the bank, like they're my friends. You know what I mean? It's just like
Coming to Tampa for 6 weeks
Ooh,
in June, May.
we'll be here, man.
You guys should chill.
Yeah, catch up.
Sir.
But yeah,
Cost of living is so cheap in our small states, man. Like that's the only thing.
So nice.
Cost of living
So
is
nice, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna start living off of $6,500 a month, starting like next month. I'm moving into a cheaper pad, writing myself that monthly payroll check from the company. It's gonna be good, dude. It's gonna be so nice. You can live off that in Indy. So easy.
Oh yeah.
Just keep
That's
all the money in the business, reinvest it.
Yeah.
What's that? What'd you say?
Rent. Yeah, it's your business.
Yeah, rent's expensive in Tampa, I bet.
Yeah, it's not cheap. So we gotta make some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Well, cool. Does what I said resonate with you though, Tate, about like the attachment to money and work?
Oh yeah, 100%. I totally understand. I've seen it every single day. You and I grew up in very similar environments, small town Iowa, nothing but cornfields, highways, and farmers, you know. I'm the only entrepreneur in a 100-mile radius. But no, it's always been a challenge. Trying to force myself to do the work that will move. You know, the whole 80-20 rule essentially is what I'm trying to build my life with. You know, less work, more results. But that is where we get stuck. Fulfilling all those clients, just because we do more for them, just because we have more communication, does not mean they're having success. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and it's just that thinking. It's a very materialistic view of exchange. So like materialism in our modern world is like defined by like liking cars, but that's not the actual true definition of materialism. Materialism is recognizing nothing but the physical as real. And so like you look at farmers, they deal with dirt and plants and their own hands, their own blood, sweat, and tears every day, you know. And it's very easy to get stuck in that materialist view of like, when somebody pays me, it is I that has to like go out and do the thing. But in the internet age, it's strictly intellectual work, right? It is strictly intellectual. Hard work plays no role in the growth or shrinkage of your company, like literally no role. And when you really learn that and you really conceive that, like it does some real damage to your, like positive damage to your thinking. Like how hard you guys work, your work hours, your work days, very rarely has anything to do with how far you'll grow, with one exception. And there's that book, Deep Work. Have you guys heard of that book, Deep Work? Have you read the book, Deep Work?
I have not read that book.
I swear I'm gonna recommend so many damn books.
Hey,
To you
man,
guys.
you're
I'm so
giving
sorry.
the
The only exception to the hard work rule is when you're in that state of deep work. And deep work is when you're literally building a moat around your business so your competitors can't touch you because you have the best product, best client experience, the best client results. It's when you are in the trenches, shifting the way that your clients experience your business on the other side of their payment. That's the work that matters.
We need some deep work. And I'm excited for all that client work to get finished up today, tomorrow. And then I think what I can spend my time on today is just going ahead and implementing what Trey's talked about with the Done With You offer, because I was definitely overthinking it.
It's an easy thing to overthink when you attach work and money, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%. Yes. Got it.
As soon as this is really like the reason that today is a big deal. I'm like hustling and bustling since 6 a.m. trying to finish our last bit of client work we got, on the roster. So once this, until we have new clients come in, I'm done with the client work for now, apart from communication, updates, etc. And so I'll be able to finally spend more of my time on the actual business, transitioning into this model and, running you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like the easiest way I moved a lot of like agency owners to Done With You, and like, here's my series of questions to help you really make it happen in a smoother, like I've given you a lot of material. I just want to give you as much as I can to make that a smooth transition. Like Tate, when you're doing this Done For You work, like what are you doing? Like, what are you doing for people? Like, help me understand. I'm not asking that with a tone that says, why are you doing it? You stupid. Like, it's more like literally like, tell me what you're doing for your clients so that I know what the workload looks like.
100%. So they come in with their business. We help them take what they have, turn it into a much higher value offer. So we basically restructure what they are offering. And then from there, we take that offer, put it into a video presentation that can be used for funnel, etc., whatever live training they want to do. We build the funnel for them to support that live training. And then
I can still hear you. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, you're all good. Where was I?
Funnel, webinar, email campaign.
Yeah, funnel, offer, funnel, webinar, and then we implement one foundational email campaign. Just when they start driving traffic, have something to win back those cart abandonments. And then from there, it's really supporting them as they're trying to record. Walking them through that process, helping them get everything integrated. So once the actual work is done, there's still at least 3 to 5 more hours of work just by helping them integrate things and figure out how to film and get all their packages and everything put together with their business. And so, yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like if you were to summarize and this is what we always teach our clients, we always teach in terms of pillars. You've given me a lot of little things that you do. If you were to take all the things that you do, and let's say you, Tate, were to go to the past version of Tate that didn't have these skills, and you were to say, here's the 3 things we're going to master together so that you can serve my clients. What would those 3 things be? Like starting with number 1.
Offer.
Okay, offer, and just making it higher ticket, more valuable, maybe the right deliverables, etc.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then what's number 2?
Vehicle, as in the funnel page, etc. to have that offer.
And that's ads, that's click funnels, that's a little mini webinar kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay, so offer, higher ticket, higher value, better deliverables, maybe more scalable for your clients. Vehicle is traffic source, where they're actually pulling this attention from. What's the final one?
Traffic.
So what's the difference between vehicle and traffic?
So I view the vehicle as the assets that the traffic comes to, and then the traffic is, the traffic.
Cool. So that's really the funnel. The vehicle would be considered the funnel.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, sure. Like, that's not a very confident response.
No,
am I wrong? Like, tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're definitely not wrong. I'm just trying to think in terms of every client, like as a blanket. So yeah, let's call it the funnel. Vehicle. Yeah,
Okay.
funnel.
I'll write F because I just erased the whole thing. I don't have to write funnel again with my trackpad. It takes me so damn long. And then traffic. Okay. So now we're just building your done with you offer together, boys. Offer. Now you need to define the three pillars in offer. So let's do that together. So what's the three pillars if you were to boil it into three things that take an offer from being a side hustle that makes you an extra $2,000 a month online to a $20,000 a month offer? And the reason I'm forcing you into a limitation is because there's this concept in like energy of like potential energy and channeled energy. So you got like potential energy, which it could go any which way, and it's powerful. Don't get me wrong, but until channeled in one direction, it doesn't have the ability to really affect anything, right? So we need to channel. All right, all these ideas you guys have. What's the three? So at this point, we could probably have like 20 little things, but how do we bucket them into three that we can communicate well and then have impact for our clients? So offer, what's the three pillars here? What would you say?
I would say like being able to target who you're offering the service to.
So
Cool.
Probably audience.
Yeah, audience.
So who's it for, basically?
Yeah.
And like maybe calling out their pain points and like making sure they're communicating it well to those people.
Yes.
Okay, we're at that. What's number two?
Deliverables.
Okay,
That
expand on that a
could
little
or-
bit for me.
But that's the first thing in my head.
Expand on deliverables a little bit for me. Is it just like the means of which they deliver the information, or is that the information itself?
Essentially the meat of the offer. Like, this is your offer. What is that offer made up of? What are you giving in that offer?
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's I would write meat because deliverables even could be like skewed. You know what I mean? Because like when I work with like say I work with a health coach, they're like, oh, my deliverables are a once a week call with myself. Okay, but what are we talking about on those calls?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So deliverables can be mixed up with like, okay, what's actually happening? But you guys can do this yourself. You can do this exercise yourself. I'm not gonna spend the next 40 minutes doing this. You've got your three pillars: vehicle traffic, and then you've got your three pillars within each, and then you need to come up with a few things for each pillar within the pillar, which is like a template that they can use to act on themselves, a piece of training to help get them up to speed, right? Whether it's course or it's a coaching call or whatever, and then action items to implement.
So
you got your done with it. Yeah.
Okay, so essentially what this is 9 steps to success, but those 9 steps can be categorized into 3 big steps.
3 primary pillars, all with steps underneath. Yep.
Got it. Cool.
Yep. And then this way you can look at a prospect's business, both on a sales call and on a coaching level once they've already invested, and identify which of these 9 things they don't have on point, call them out, and then tell them what to do next.
Got it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Because what I'm thinking about doing is, instead of like shooting a whole bunch of course content, like I'm like basically what you did in your program, instead of mapping out a whole bunch of stuff, I'm just probably going to start just going live with our community on, I guess, all 9 of these topics. I'll just go live.
It's a great way to get your version 1 of the product. Great way to do it. Yeah. And like, just like how people teach to reshoot your webinar till you get it to convert the best, you want to redo your lives until your clients love the training the most.
Got it. Okay.
Love it.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. So that's some good items right there. What else? Traffic. I already DM'd the guy. He's about to give me a price for a story post. It's gonna be pretty cool. I know you said that I should break it down into like the beginning of my story, the middle of my story, and then like the end result, but also add in like a client testimony, like a client case study, but don't say the client's name. Correct? Is that on the same post?
So when I mention the client thing, you can throw out the client thing for a story post, meaning telling your story, whether it's on their story or on their feed. You don't need to include clients in that, in my opinion. Why I brought up the client success is because I want you to source like your tweet posts or whatever sort of content you put out as literally being directly related to your client's results. So you're just giving them exactly what's worked, because you want that synchronicity. Like You want there to be a link between what you're saying on your front end and your marketing and what you actually do on the back. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like if I were to, in my content, be like, here's how to run a webinar. It's like, I don't think I've ever helped somebody get 2 million a year with a webinar. Like it's a supplement, but it's not the focus. You know, it wouldn't really synchronize. So it's making sure that you're actually educating people on things that you know have worked for your clients. Like a tweet post you can put out is how to sell a $500 course for $5,000 with 2 hours worth of tweaks. You know, something like that. And then as well, you can even look at like, you can go sub niche, like with fitness coaches or life coaches or really, I would actually sub niche in the direction of your most successful clients. So I don't know who they are, what they did, but you know, just
Airbnb
ask them who they follow on Instagram.
Yeah, Airbnb and Turo. Yeah.
There you go, dude. So I would find some pages that are kind of in that, like, you know, like real estate investing motivational pages.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. All right. We got some. I know I scheduled with you later on today, so I'll go ahead and cancel that. Leave you alone.
Go. Yeah, you guys see why we do the group calls. Well, quote group calls. Everybody's busy on Mondays, but
Yeah.
like that's the thing, dude, is like when you are a true expert in your little sub niche and you can really serve your clients and you say unlimited one-to-one, what that really means is like, if you spend 30 minutes with me, I'm going to give you 4 weeks of work. You know what I mean? It's like, that's really how your client experience should be. So yeah, and in just the deliverable structure of your group program, I do like two, maybe 3 group calls a week, unlimited one-to-one support. And either one of you or a previously successful client should help out as a coach as well and be like, you know, either one of you needs to choose to devote to that Facebook group or Slack channel or whatever, or a previously successful client that you know could help out needs to devote to that channel as well. Yeah. Because you just kind of want that activity. But I found that like, it's less about the activity itself that distracts from my other work. It's more about the state of mind I have to get into. It's like the state of mind to make a good piece of YouTube content, or the state of mind to record a good ad, or the state of mind to work on my program and record better modules, or the state of mind to coach. Going back and forth from those state of minds wastes so much energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not even like 2 hours of Slack messages. It's more like 2 hours of Slack messages with some distractions, and then also then an hour and a half curve of going from that state of mind to another state of mind. So, you know, one of you or somebody else needs to fully devote a specific portion of their time to being a river of information.
Got it. Okay. That's a gym for sure. Cool. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you, Trey. Appreciate you doing this as well. We'll just send you a message if we come across anything else.
For sure. Was this valuable time spent together?
100%.
100%, man. Appreciate it.
Cool. What are some key takeaways for you guys?
The 3 pillars. Also, like what you said with the soil, all the way up to the sun, that was super helpful. The post that I'm gonna make, that story post, more clarity, and there's more clarity around like my story as well, how to sell that online as well. So it's kind of like my
cool. And then earlier on in this call, you brought up a setter issue. If your setter just wants to get a one-to-one with our setter or Dylan anytime, or you want to do a 3-way, you, Dylan, your setter, you guys have it anytime. Just, you know, another reminder, this is your link whenever you want to get that one-to-one with us. I sent it to you on Slack. That's our whole company right there. Open it up, pick Dylan, get on, or Matt, who's our actual setter. Either Dylan or Matt, you know, you guys can kind of pick and choose. For context, Dylan trained Matt, you know, so I don't know if Matt can train, but he can do, I think those are 2 different skills, you know, so it just kind of comes down to your guys' intuition. You can always do both too.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
So-
I'll come on that call.
Yeah. But that said, I don't even think we do 12 out of 100 with our cold. So like, you guys are doing pretty good.
Oh yeah, man, it was and I'm actually tracking it now, so I'm like, yes, let's go. More
Yeah.
predictable.
There you go, dude. And now you want to know your closing rate on those calls too. If you don't know your closing rate, like that's a huge issue as well. You need to know that number.
100%.